this isn't a courtroom, right?
It's not.
I mean, I'm trying to convince you and other people, so, but maybe we'll end up in a courtroom, I don't know. Just no one cared. Now, in the irony of all time, when the regents fired me and did it in a very public way, I mean, I've been around the system a long time. Usually, you folks call me up and you say, we have this issue and we want to get this quietly disposed of. We don't want to call a lot of attention to it. And then people retire or they resign or whatever. But I got an email saying, you're fired, and they went to the press and said he's done abhorrent, disgusting, alarming things, and everybody got interested in that. And overnight, on what was it, December 27th, 28th, we went from like 3 people following this on OnlyFans to about 10,000. And then some money began coming, but we never received anything until January of 2024. And I want to be very clear on that, because it's like your taxes. It's not when you earn the money, it's when you receive the money.
That everywhere I go, people are concerned. That besides just the jokes, which are no longer funny, but it's, we don't want to be known as porn U. We're the top comprehensive in the university, in the UW system. We want to be known for the quality of our academic programs. This is a problem. It's a problem when our donors say they won't give money. It's a problem when our alumni are embarrassed. And yes, this too shall pass. But the fact that, again, Joe, you don't seem to understand that this was problematic concerns me. The fact that you don't think there's reputational damage.
If you could show that it hurt enrollment or fundraising, I would concede that, but you can't, can you?
I can tell you that we've had donors who flat out say, I will never give another penny to this university if Joe Gow is teaching.
Now again, you haven't been chancellor for very long. I can recall several occasions that people, I mean, it was a pretty frequent occurrence where people would say, I don't like this, so I'm not going to give you any more money.
Yep. This is played out.
And you know, you learn, you just have to take that with a grain of salt, because you can't please everybody, and we don't run the university that way. It's all about the students. And it sounds like the students are coming.
The students are coming. I think it's unfair to characterize the students as being okay with this. Some students are okay with this. We've also heard from current students and, again, former students who have made it very clear that what they would like for their degree to be associated with is a high-quality university.
On the fundraising piece, I saw the other day you had 2 real big, generous gifts. So it would appear that this controversy hasn't hurt fundraising.
I'm sorry to do this in a public hearing, Joe, but some of those gifts were based on the fact that you were no longer chancellor.
Oh, so you're now making deals?
Oh, absolutely not. What I mean is there are people who wanted to be giving to the university who felt more free to give it to the university after you were no longer chancellor. Because they had.
So let me get that straight. They actually said to you, get rid of him and I'll give you money?
Absolutely not fair, Joe. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are people who have been long supporters of the campus who, once you were no longer chancellor, said that they felt more free to give their money to the university because they felt better about the future of the university. No one ever said anything about any involvement in you being dismissed.
Okay, but at the end of the day, fundraising is doing fine. It said that enrollment at UW-La Crosse is at least stable, maybe trending up. Is that accurate?
It's accurate.
Okay, so that would be a pretty clear indication that anything I did, Carmen and I did, has not hurt enrollment at UW-La.
I personally don't see it that way because I don't think you've been able to be here to witness the number of fires we've had to put out. You know, I think that our people doubled down on their effort to represent the university in the best way. Does it hurt the enrollment overall? Absolutely, you're correct. It does not hurt the enrollment.
these are all things that we would decide should you maintain your position. But the point that I'm making is the assumption that you can teach media studies you are not a media studies professor.
Have you read my dissertation?
Yeah, I do, I have.
It's media studies.
So.
And I've published 13 articles in media studies. And
I'm going to make the same objection again.
Yeah, so
Well, this isn't a courtroom, right?
it's not.
I mean,
but-
I'm trying to convince you and other people, but maybe we'll end up in a courtroom, I don't know. So, great, I'll let it go with that, thank you.
I just want you to ask a question.
Regardless of Dr. Gow's questionable recharacterization of the books accurately foreshadowed what would happen if his hobby became public. His conduct was premeditated. The university has been surprised during this hearing at the deflection from Dr. Gow on a variety of issues. Ray Cross's and select regents' reactions to the 2018 Nita Hartley matter is what made the matter worse, not Dr. Gow's conduct. His decision to publicize his hobby last fall isn't the issue, it's the way in which President Rothman and the Board of Regents terminated his chancellor position. During his opening statement, he chastised the university for submitting exhibits with explicit photos, even though those images came from Dr. Gow's public-facing loyal fans page. Even when his damaging comments have been directly quoted by the media rather than summarized, he has asserted that the media got it wrong, not him. Dr. Gow has expressed great concern about the amount of money that has gone towards investigating his inappropriate conduct, but has expressed zero concern over his own conduct, ignoring the fact that but for his conduct, the expenditure of any funds would have been completely unnecessary. Dr. Morgan provided ample testimony demonstrating what has only become more clear during this hearing. Dr. Gow just doesn't get it or is unable to acknowledge that his conduct has been harmful to this campus community and a distraction from its core mission.
Do you ever get email messages you never asked for?
Yes.
I believe we call it spam.
I'm well aware of what spam is. I also know that when there's been interaction, it's more likely to change the algorithm such that you're getting more on those certain topics.
Really? Do you not get messages from legislators of all parties that you never asked for?
No, if you're asking me if I get email I didn't ask for, yes. I'm also saying that I personally don't get any email like that. Not even from
I wonder, I'm seeing some looks on the faces of others that maybe you've gotten some stuff like this that you never asked for. And also, Betsy, are you aware that those products are sold at places like Target, Walgreens?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
That's not what the fair use policy says.
So I don't, well, could I have never ever even seen those?
Perhaps.
Like, you're the chancellor now. How many emails a day do you get?
Not as many as I got when I was provost. It's delightful.
Okay. Probably talking like 100.
Yeah, probably.
So you don't, you look at the,
It goes to
who's this coming from, and you just delete it.
I go to the clutter. I take a look at it to make sure it's not something that's germane to the job, and yes, I move on.
So would you believe me if I said the first time I ever saw this material was in that report, that somebody went into my email and found, I would not have, we're not in the market for sex toys. So,
I don't have an answer for you, Joe.
do you think that's fair to bring this into this conversation?
Yes, I think it's fair.
You do?
I do.
And how is that?
I think that although you have made it very clear that you think it's an inappropriate use of money, I think when you have hired an external investigator to do a thorough investigation and they come back with this kind of information, that all of us, the panel, me, need to take that seriously. And yes, I understand you might not have looked at it.
So you would fire somebody for junk email?
I would fire someone for multiple concerns regarding ethical behavior, insubordination, and fair use.
That sounds pretty weak to me.
It might sound up to you.